Nowadays, here in our home, Jamie is in the Contra channel. Welcome, Jamie. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Good. I'm really excited because you are here and you are able to share all the knowledge that you have about the individual taxation in USA. So,
Absolutely.
Jamie, thank you. I know that you have a super busy agenda, and obviously I blocked your agenda for a couple of minutes.
It's okay. I've got your back whenever you need me to.
Okay. Thank you. Hey, Jimmy, really
Absolutely.
quick, could you give us a little bit your background because probably the followers and the viewer needs to understand a little bit the background that you have, obviously, or the experience behind all your comments.
Absolutely. Hey everyone, my name is Yemi Ermade. I go by Yemi. I've been working for about 15 years now. I got my undergrad from the University of North Texas, as well as my master's and my MBA, and then got certified at the same time. I got through all of this by the age of 20, so I feel inspired to help out the new and upcoming generation. And then I started working in the public accounting industry in 2007. Ventured out in international tax, corporate tax work, and just taxes as a whole. And then spent about 7 to 8 years there before I got transferred over to the industry side of things, dealing with the oil and gas side of things, and now in the movie industry side. So obviously got a taste of the public side as well as the individual side and the industry side, the private side of things as well. So the experience is really vast and well-rounded, and I'm very excited to share that knowledge with you today.
Oh, thank you, Jamie. Hey, Jamie, give us when you are the new guy on the block, I always said you don't know anything about the taxes. Probably the only thing that you need, that you know, or that you already know is you need to pay something. But the main issue is how to pay, when, how, is it, in my payment, it's low, it's high, I don't know. So give us, I will start with the 8 things that we need to know when you are living in United States, how to pay your individual taxes, right?
Absolutely.
So the first question that I have, Jamie, is what is gross income on their IRS or on their tax perspective?
Excellent. What is gross income? Look at it this way. When we talk about gross income, we're talking about the exact amount of money you receive upfront before any taxes, before any expenses, before any deductions. Your gross income in this instance, let's use $100 for simplicity purposes. If I give you $100, that is regarded as gross income to you. Before you pay the government, before you pay anyone else, gross income is the exact amount that I give to you.
Okay.
Prior to deductions.
Okay. Wow. Thank you for that answer. Jamie, the second thing that I would like to know, when do I need to submit the tax return? It's monthly, quarterly, annually, every 2 years, or whatever I want?
I wish the IRS would let you submit whatever you want. But the way this works is for any certain year, the IRS mandates that you submit a return the following April 15th. If the April 15th falls on a weekend, obviously you have, the Monday following the April 15th. But barring any extensions or any sort of you discussing with the IRS and letting them know, hey, I need additional time to file my tax return, you have that April 15th due date. But there's something called an extension where you need time to actually file a return because, you may be waiting on certain documents or waiting on certain printouts. If your W-2 is delayed or your statement of income is delayed, then you're afforded an additional 6 months through October 15th. So a perfect example for the 2020 calendar year, from January to December 2020, you're obligated to file a tax return on April 15th of 2021 without extensions. And then with extensions, you are eligible to file your returns by October 15th, 2021. But keep in mind, if you owe the government, the extension is just time to file. The payment is still due by April 15th. If you owe the IRS, interest starts accruing from April 15th. But if you're in a refund position, you're in a good spot. You can wait.
Okay, okay. It means like even though I have an extension period, I need to pay it. Like at the end of the, I mean, at the middle of April, right?
Yes, yes, yes. If you have a balance due, and that's where the estimated calculations come play, and you have a professional helping you tax plan throughout the year to help you make sure you're on the right side. And when I say the right side, on the black side versus the red. The red is negative balance due, and the positive side is black. So you always want to make sure your numbers is in the black versus the red. So that's why you need licensed professionals or an expert that knows these things and can help you tax plan throughout the year to put you in a better position for the upcoming year.
Oh, wow, wow. Thank you for that one. Jamie, the third question that I have for you is there any kind of difference between be single, married, divorce? I mean, is that any kind of thing it's important to the IRS or no, or it's not important?
That's a great question. That's a really great question. In the United States of America, the government affords you different tax rate for whatever bucket you fall in. When I say bucket, I mean what your marital status is. Are you single? Are you married? Even if you're married, that you filing jointly or you're married filing separately. In the case of a divorce situation, are you filing as the head of household? Meaning, are you taking care of people while simultaneously filing your tax return? The most beneficial tax rate, obviously, is the married filing jointly. You have the lowest tax rate because the government affords you the benefits of being married. You afforded lower tax rate, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's the best tax rate because sometimes you're not just reporting your income, but your partner's income as well too. So everything you have to report it on both sides, but you get better rates. Single rates, obviously, they're one of the highest rates. Obviously, you're single, so you're not reporting as much, but then you have the higher tax rate. So the tax brackets actually vary based on your status, whether you're single, married, and then the married category, are you married filing jointly or married filing separately? The tax rates are different in there as well too. And then you have the head of household. So again, you need to talk to a tax professional to help you decipher what beneficial tax rate apply to you.
Oh, thank you, thank you. That's another benefit to be married, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay. Yeah. Jerry, I know like we have the gross income, now we have the deduction, but I know and I heard like about the standard deduction. Do you know
Yep.
what the meaning is?
Excellent, excellent. The standard deduction is really a deduction where the government says, hey, just because you're filing a tax return, you get a standard deduction across the board. And let's take, for example, the government says it's $10,000 for the entire year. Again, if it's that 10,000, what people don't understand is the government is saying, with all your income, we're giving you 10,000 to deduct before you get to a taxable income where you're charged a tax to be paid or refunded based on what you have throughout the year. What you compare your standard deduction to is the itemized deductions. You have real estate property? Do you have real estate taxes? Do you have mortgage interest? Do you have any medical expenses above certain percentages of your AGI? Do you have miscellaneous expenses above the adjusted gross income, which is the same as the AGI? So again, when you total all of these things together, they make up the itemized deductions. And then when you compare the itemized deductions to the standard deduction, then you determine, okay, which one is higher. Most people, if you don't have all these other expenses I mentioned earlier, you're better off taking the higher amount, which is the standard deduction. Obviously, the government has done some calculations or preliminary background work to determine, okay, this is a good line. You know, some people will be over it, some people will be under it. But at the same time, overall, it creates a benefit to every filer within the U.S. system, whether you're taking the standard or you're taking the higher amount, because they don't want any differences in both. Obviously, there'll be some differences, but on average, it favors everyone. So that's what's regarded as the standard deduction. It's the standardized amount that the government affords every person filing a tax return in the United States of America as the deduction.
Okay, hey, Jamie, one question about the standard deduction. Do I need to keep any kind of records, invoice, payments, something like that, or is like just granted?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. It's one of the benefits of filing a U.S. tax return. The government do not require any paperwork for a standard deduction. The standard deduction is just given to you because you're filing a U.S. tax return.
Good. And what about the itemized deduction? Do I need to keep like documents? I mean, support documentation?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. That's the main difference between the standard and the itemized deductions. You need to have a record of your real estate taxes. You need to have a record of your mortgage interest. You need to have a record of your medical expenses in excess of the adjusted gross income over a certain percentage. So essentially, the things that fall in the bucket of itemized deductions, you actually need to keep a record of it. In case of an audit or the government comes back to ask you for it, you need to have supporting data to support whatever number you're including on the itemized side of things. That way you have that report with you. In case of an audit, you don't get to any trouble with the IRS. Trust me, you don't want to.
Okay, okay. Jamie, so we have the gross income, the deductions, and we have any kind of credit. I read something about like you have one kid, two kids, or I don't know how many children do you have probably, but is it through like the government gives you something like a extra like a deduction, or they send you money, or is it through like the government helps you, or is not true?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. As with any country, the U.S. supports the fact that the system grows, the generations to come are the kids that we raise. So the kids that you have, the children that you have, the more kids you have, the more you benefit from in terms of the IRS. There's personal exemptions for each kid. There's credit opportunities afforded to each kid. There's the earned income credit attainable because of the amount of kids you have. And obviously, your income level and your status has something to do with that. But just in an overview, big picture type of analysis, this credit's afforded to you because you have a kid, you have kids, you have children, you have people that you're taking care of, people that you're responsible for under certain age. There's benefits afforded to you from the IRS perspective.
Oh wow, thank you. Hey, I don't know, Jamie, if you watch the movie like a Pursuit of the Happiness. I remember the one of the scenes like when the guy review, his bank account, and they say like IRS, take out all their money from their account. Is it true that one? Like is it possible that the IRS, withdraw all my money that I have in my bank account because I didn't pay the taxes?
Absolutely.
Oh man.
There's a possibility of the IRS actually doing that. Usually it's closer to a last resort type of thing, where it's called garnishment of wages, where you owe the IRS a certain amount, and they've sent you letters, they've sent you reminders to make these payments, or at least give them a call, try to work something out with them, and that they're not getting their responses back. They are eligible to touch your personal account. They're eligible to touch your payments. They're eligible to touch whatever your employer is paying to you. They're eligible to touch anything coming to you associated to your Social Security number. So again, the IRS is a powerful outfit. Whatever you think you owe the IRS, you're always afforded the opportunity to call the IRS, to talk to them, to be able to set up a payment plan, even if you can't afford to pay everything up front. I always encourage a lot of my clients just have a communication dialogue space to be able to talk to the IRS. Because when you don't do this, then that perfect example in the pursuit of happiness comes into play. The IRS dips into your jar,
Oof.
they dip into your cookie jar, and they take whatever they want out of it. It's called garnishment, and they're allowed to do that under the IRS code and whatever laws they put in place.
So at the end, we don't have escapes. I mean, we don't have any kind of loops, you know. You have to avoid paying taxes. It's like
well, if you put your money in a bag under your bed, then maybe the IRS will know about it. But sooner or later, they'll find out.
That's good to know. I mean, you're not playing games with IRS, right?
Right. You don't want to. That's one outfit you don't want to mess with.
Oh.
You want to be in compliance at all times with the IRS.
Oh, okay, got it. That's the reason. All the people that said like I am paying taxes because probably they know, right? I mean, like the IRS is your friend, but should be, the most complicated thing to deal with.
Yeah, it's like Christmas. You don't want to be on Santa's naughty list. You want to be on the good list. Santa, in this case, is the IRS.
Okay. Thank you. And the last thing, Jamie, do we need to hire like a CPA or tax preparer to submit a return? Or, I can avoid, this kind of fee that I need to pay to the expert. What is your recommendation?
Absolutely. Again, folks like, myself as a tax professional, as an expert in this topic and in just accounting as general, I always encourage people to seek the advice of a professional person. Obviously, there are platforms where you're able to give it a shot and try to do your own tax return, but you have no clue what you're looking into. You don't understand the nuances of things. You don't understand the little things that would actually help you. You don't understand some of the requirements, the IRS that we study throughout the year. As you know, tax is ever changing. It's a revolving door. So that's what we experts do. So again, you can give it a shot, but we always say that you're missing out on something that you're not aware of. So again, regardless of the fees we charge, it's always worth it, is the way I put it, because if something you don't know about, you can benefit from it. So that's why you go to the hospital, you go seek a legal counsel. Some of these things you can think like you could treat it on your own. Take for example a doctor, but then the reason for going to the hospital is to decipher things you're not sure of, and then have the doctor look into it for you. It's the same thing with taxes. There's little to as much as you know by yourself. So seeking professional help always goes a long way, and opening some avenues that you're not even sure of, that, I actually qualify for this. Oh, this credit actually applies to me. I didn't have a clue. Well, that's what we went to school for. That's what we have all these years of experience for. That's where we put our expertise to play, to be able to assist you in getting the maximum amount and being compliant with the IRS. Again, you always want to be on the good list of the IRS and not the naughty list.
No, thank you, Jimmy. This is a good example. Even though probably we try to read the revenue code, but probably we don't understand it, and we don't see the opportunity that we have in front of us, because we don't know, we don't have the knowledge, and even though probably we don't have the time to do all the research, to be documented and try to find the same way that you found or that you have. Right.
Absolutely.
So, Jamie, thank you so much. Thank you for all these kind of tips. I really appreciate it. I know it was super fast, but it's super helpful. When the people arrive to US and we don't know anything about the taxes, now we know that we need to hire you, obviously, right?
Please find me. I'll be more than happy to assist in any way I can.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you. That's all for the Contra interview now. Thank you. And follow, clicking the like, and share this kind of knowledge because it's important. Like everybody needs to know how to pay the taxes in USA. Thank you, Jamie. I really appreciated all your time.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful rest of the day.
Gracias. Bye.